Doc on the Run. We help injured runners run.
Can peroneal nerve tendinitis cause fifth metatarsal pain? Well, that's what we're talking about today on the Doc on the Run podcast. Today's episode actually comes from a question as a comment anyway, on one of the YouTube videos I made on peroneal tendinitis. And this runner actually asked a question, said, can peroneal nerve tendinitis cause fifth metatarsals to be tender to the touch and when walking? I'm not sure if I have a stress fracture. Okay, well, I'm confused, and I'll explain why. Because I'm not really sure what's going on with this runner, but I'm going to try to explain and answer the question as best I can. So I'm going to draw a couple pictures here. This is the outside of the foot. So let's imagine your little toes here, big toes over here. And I know this is a terrible drawing of a foot, but anyway, you'll get the idea. So what do we have in there? Well, we have the heel bone. Talus sits on top of the heel bone, tibia sits on top of there, the fibula bone is on the outside, you have the navicular and the cuboid and the cuneiforms and the fifth metatarsal bone and all the other metatarsal bones. So this is the fifth metatarsal, right? So we have a bone, the fifth metatarsal bone here. And this person is worried about a stress fracture, so I am assuming that the pain is in this bone or somewhere around that area. Now, so that's thing number one, stress fracture. Well, yes, you could have pain if you have a stress fracture, and if it is inflamed, you have swelling within the bone or in the covering of the bone over it because you have stress reaction, that could hurt. So yes, you could get a problem with that. The next question is the tendon. Okay, well, you have a tendon. The tendon, the peroneal tendon, specifically the peroneus brevis tendon, peroneus brevis muscles up here, comes down behind the fibula, and then attaches right here to the base of the fifth metatarsal. So when you look at it from the top, if I can draw another picture, try to make this a little more descriptive. Okay, here's your foot. There's the fifth metatarsal bone. And this tendon, the peroneus brevis tendon, is coming in to attach here. Since it's on the outside of the foot, that's the one that fires and pulls your foot back under you when you start to roll your ankle. So yes, if you have insertional peroneus brevis tendinitis where it attaches to the bone right there, then that is actually a separate problem called tendinitis. Specifically, peroneal tendinitis. Now, the other question here, what about the peroneal nerves? Well, sort of and sort of not could that be a problem, because you actually have a couple of different nerves here. You have one of them, the intermediate dorsal cutaneous nerve comes across here and goes like basically right out here toward the fourth toe up there. It's part of the superficial peroneal nerve, so I don't know where this person got the anatomy descriptors for this, but the superficial peroneal nerve really doesn't cause pain in the fifth metatarsal. It could theoretically cause some pain in this general area. Yeah, I guess it could. That'd be pretty strange. It'd be unusual. If you get irritation of the sural nerve that actually comes down here, that's more likely to actually be causing pain in that area because it's closer to where the actual trouble is, where the insertion of the peroneus brevis tendon goes over the fifth metatarsal. So it's three different things: a nerve problem, a bone problem, or a tendon problem. Now, I guess at the base of the question is, can the tendinitis issue with the peroneus brevis pulling on the muscle cause a stress fracture? Yes. And it actually causes traumatic fractures a lot, where you roll your ankle so hard that instead of pulling the tendon loose, it actually cracks the bone right here and causes an actual avulsion fracture, meaning that you avulsed or ripped the bone right off. That happens a lot. Very common. Less common to get a stress fracture there from tugging on it persistently, but I suppose if you're running in unstable shoes on unstable surfaces, that you could get persistent tendinitis that does that. The other way that it can conceivably happen is that if you have chronic tugging away of the bone and it's chronically inflamed and irritated and you have inflammatory fluid in there, that the increased blood flow and the degradative enzymes that degrade the collagen over the periosteum and stuff theoretically could like keep it inflamed, and then because of you're sort of washing out the calcium in the bone with the chronic irritation and inflammation where the tendon attaches to the bone, it could get weaker and develop a stress fracture from that process. So it is possible. Yes, you could have peroneal tendinitis that actually leads to fifth metatarsal pain and even potentially a stress reaction or a stress fracture in the fifth metatarsal under those circumstances. So if you haven't checked it out yet, if you think you have a stress fracture, you might want to check out the Stress Fracture Masterclass. You can get it for free at docontherun.com/stress fracture masterclass. It's where I do a deep dive into all the strategies I use with athletes who have stress fractures and want to get back to training instead of just waiting for the thing to heal. Go check it out, docontherun.com/stress fracture masterclass, and I'll see you in the training.
Doc on the Run. We help injured runners run.